Presenters, Dr. M.S. Reddy Garu. I'm sure you have heard a lot already, and we have shared M.S. Reddy Garu's bio also, in our groups and to all our members and everything. So I hope you got a chance to read about him. He's really an very inspiring personality. He is a Nobel Prize nominee, and he has 150 plus patents. Those are US and international patents, and it's no joke. And he's internationally recognized as a scientist and inventor, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. And also, he has 160 plus scientific publications as of today. And he's a pioneer in applied microbiology, probiotics, food technology, and medical innovation. And his breakthroughs have advanced global cheese production, infection control, and COVID-19 treatment research and integrative healthcare. So he serves as a chairman and president of American Dairy and Food Consulting Laboratories and IMAC Inc. Over his distinguished career, he has received more than 170 national and international awards, including lifetime achievement honors and recognition from the world leaders and scientific organizations. So, Dr. Reddy is widely respected for his contributions to science, healthcare, education, environmental sustainability, and humanitarian service worldwide. And of course, he is a Nobel Prize nominee. And welcome, Dr. M.S. Reddy Garu, to this forum.
Application of probiotics and their proven physiological thing, then I don't have any problem with this. And the objectives are to raise the awareness for the medical professionals on the basic principles of probiotics, because I myself, my training is medical. I'm a veterinarian, but I changed my field into microbiology and virology. So I know what has been missing on the medical side of it and what has been going on the microbiological. I'm trying to bring it together. So therapeutic effects of probiotics to prevent or cure metabolic diseases, nosocomial infections, and viral infections. Current and future role of the probiotics as adjuvant therapeutic agents and complementary alternative medicine. That's the objective. Before that, I want to thank you, Kalyani, for doing a wonderful job working with me, formulating this. And two guys are sitting here with me in case if there's a trouble, that Sridhar Reddy and also Rashid Hussain is here. And then they're spared here for me, okay, in case if something go wrong here. Thank you very much. The next slide. Okay, history of the probiotics. I want to tell you, everybody want to know these probiotics are all over on the television and everywhere these days. What are these probiotics? 3 billion years ago, there was no life on this earth. 3.5 billion years ago. First life started with algae. Algae is a single cell organism in the sea. It started breaking the carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen. When oxygen came into the world, that is the time Earth started, life started. In this life, the beginning is single cell bacteria. After the algae, the bacteria came in there. And then after the bacteria, multicellular thing came, yeast, molds, and all that. After that came plants, and after that came apes and human beings and all that. This is the transition of the world. So the beginning of this whole evolution on the earth started with the microorganism, with this bacteria, okay? That gives the history. The probiotics are one set of bacteria that improve our health. It's a God-given gift to the humanity, really. These have been there. Nobody understood why they were there. And then, of course, if we take the Indian history, for example, Lord Krishna introduced probiotics 5,000 years ago. Okay, it's not a brand new here. Okay, right now we are all studying exactly what these organisms are. Okay, that gives you a history of the probiotics, where it started. And the microscope, next one, microscope is only invented in primitive in 1600s. These organisms were there, nobody knew what they were. Okay, the science is relatively new right now. Next slide. Next slide, please. Yeah. And this I want to give you just a little background on the microbiology. Primitive microscope came in 1600s only. Until then, before, people didn't know there is other microscopic life in there. Louis Pasteur, germ theory in 1865, he proved a bacteria caused the diseases, and he was the father of the bacteriology. Robert Koch came up with the Koch's postulants. He was called pioneer in the medical microbiology. But if you notice all this, until early 1900s until late 1800s, nobody talked about bacteria being healthful. They were only talking about pathogens causing diseases and all that. Even when I was in vet school, that's all we know, what damage these bacteria do, pathogenic bacteria. But there's also good bacteria. These good bacteria are the probiotics. It came up in 1907. The Nobel laureate Eli Metchnikoff, when he got the Nobel Prize for phagocytosis. But he came out in his Nobel lecture and told human longevity, length of life, and improving the health can be done by consuming fermented dairy products. And he named it Bulgarian buttermilk they were drinking. And the causative factor is Lactobacillus bulgaricus. That is the first time it was ever told bacteria can be useful for health, even though in Vedas we knew about this. Okay, Krishna taught us long back. Next one, the term probiotic, the word probiotic only came in 1965, believe me or not. It's only 60 years old or something. It's a relatively new science. And this was a name is given by Lilly and Stilwell in 1965. And the current definition is the WHO got involved into it, and World Health Organization got involved in it. They gave a new definition, which I'll do. Next slide, please. Okay, you've been all doctors and everybody is hearing, they call me all the time. Which probiotic do I eat? Okay, let me tell you this one. Everybody knows only Lactobacillus acidophilus and the Bifidobacterium bifidum. That's what everybody talks about. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of bacteria are probiotics. They belong to several genera and species. Genera means it is their family name. Species means it's the given name. That's Latin of wording it. Like, for example, Lactobacillus species, I don't have to read all these. They're Lactobacillus acidophilus, bulgaricus, on and on and on. Even in the Lactobacillus acidophilus, there are so many strains again. Just like in a family, four members belong to the same family, but each member is different. They have different characters. Same thing with this Lactobacillus species, and so does the Bifidobacterium, Lactococcus species, probiotic, the Leuconostox, and Pediococcus acidolacticea. You don't have to know all these names. And then the yeast and molds. So there are some beneficial yeast and molds too, like Saccharomyces and the Penicillium roquefortii and the Camembertii. Okay, just to give you an idea, these are all the names you will read here and there, but there's so many varieties of probiotics that are out there. It's not a single little pill that I take. Next one, please. WHO, World Health Organization definition of probiotic, they are live microorganisms which, when administered in the adequate amounts, confer a health benefit on the host. This is an official definition. With this definition, any microorganism that could improve your health can go into the category of the probiotics. It's a wide open discussion right now. Unfortunately, what we have, FDA said, gross organism, generally regarded as safe, only is allowed to be given on the probiotic on a health basis. Next one, postbiotics. What are these postbiotics? You hear all these words, okay? They're very confusing words. They're simple, really. Probiotic is a live one. Postbiotic is what these bacteria produce when they grow somewhere. What do they produce? They're the byproduct. The byproduct of the growth of the probiotic is postbiotic, or is also called immunomodulate. They have a tremendous amount of therapeutic effect. Not only the bacteria by itself, and the end product they produce have a good, healthful aspect. Next one is paraprobiotic. What does that mean? Even if I kill the probiotic, the organism is killed with heat or something like that, still they can stimulate the immune system. But they may not be able to compete with other organisms, but they still have, but for example, in, I don't know, in other parts of India, if we take Andhra Pradesh, we make heated buttermilk, okay? That one, everybody used to think, oh, they killed the probiotic in there. No, even that postbiotic, whatever is in there, is still helpful. Okay, I don't know how our olden days people designed these things. It's tremendously thoughtful. Then prebiotic. Prebiotic has nothing to do with the probiotics. Prebiotics is nothing but a food ingredient which human being cannot digest. That's a fiber, for example. Fiber, when you eat it, you don't digest. But when you go down to the ileum, gastrointestinal tract, these probiotics can feed on that and then break it and produce compounds that are helpful for their growth and also improve our immunity factor by improving the epithelial cells of the gastrointestinal tract. Those are prebiotics. Probiotics are live. Postbiotics are their growth end products. Paraprobiotics are killed probiotic. Okay, they're dead. Still, they have an effect on health. And prebiotic is the food that will support the growth of the bacteria in the GI tract. Next one. Just to show you this, if you take a little buttermilk and make a smear out of that, and then stain it with methylene blue and look under the microscope, it's tiny. You don't see these probiotics, right? It's 1,000 magnification. If you look at that, you see that the spherical thing, that is Streptococcus thermophilus. And those rod shapes are the lactobacillus, just to give you an idea, because they have different morphology. Because in the whole microbiology, there are only few shapes, either the coccus or the rod or the spirillum, the different shapes, because there are not too many. This is how they look like. Next one. Okay, just to give you an idea here. There's a reason I'm showing that. All of you know that you all went through the biology and everything. If you take that little bacteria, if you draw it big, I'll put it on an electron microscope or something, then what you see here, you see on the surface plasmids. If you see the cell wall to give the integrity, and the cell membrane, that is the one that takes what come in, what come out, and the nuclear material, that is where the genetics are of the bacteria. Now I want to tell you, see on the top, plasmids. Plasmids, what are these? Plasmids are extra chromosomal genes, because this bacteria was there forever, okay, millions of years, billions of years it was there. But the cow came along, cow is giving milk. Oh, these bacteria saw, wait a minute, this milk is here, but how do I digest that? They didn't know how to digest. So it took them 1,000,000 years to design their own gene that could be used to utilize the milk, to break the milk protein and to eat it, and to break the lactose sugar. Okay, those extra chromosomal genes are called plasmids. They have tremendous application, because these are the plasmids in a bad bacteria. They can develop the antibiotic resistance, but in a good bacteria, they're used for health promotion. Okay, this is what I just want to give you an idea. That's why I showed it here. So remember this for later. I'll be talking about these plasmids. Next one. This is a beautiful thing I came up with. Starting from the mouth all the way to the end of the rectum, these bacteria are there in human being. All these bacteria, if you look at it, in the mouth, there will be 1 million bacteria per gram. And you go to the stomach, they die. Stomach is highly acidic. That's why we all survive. No matter what you eat, stomach is supposed to take care of that. Okay. Then gradually, starting from duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, the concentration go up. Ultimately, you have if you take they keep on going. Duodenum, 10 to 100,000 bacteria per ml. Then the jejunum increases. Ileum is 1 billion bacteria per gram. In the colon, total, we have 100 trillion bacteria. 100 trillion. How many human cells? We have only 10 trillion human cells. 10 trillion human cells, bacteria are 100 trillion. We are driven by the bacteria. Believe me or not, our health, everything is dictated by these microorganisms. This is what is called microbiota. Microbiota means the total number of bacteria in the GI tract for that. Another thing, out of this 100 trillion, 20 trillion are probiotics. I mean, these are the bacteria specifically there to improve your health. Okay, all others are there. They have some other purpose we don't know. You can ask me right now a question. Well, when we eat contaminated food, we are getting a diarrhea, we are throwing up and all that. How come there are 100 trillion bacteria in there? Nothing is happening for the human being. Well, how long? Why were they there? Why are these bacteria there in the human system? That is a God's creation. Over billions of years, these organisms figured out how to stay with us to give us a health promotion. If I to scrap all the bacteria that are from the GI tract, they'll come out to the size of the fist. We can't call it organ, it's an organelle. They have a tremendous function, which we'll be showing you later. Okay, that's why microbiota means the total number of bacteria present in GI tract, 100 trillion of them. And then human cells are only 10 trillion because our cells are 10 times less than those bacteria. If I kill all those bacteria in the GI tract, we will not live more than 3 days. We are dead. Apparently, they have a tremendous power to keep our bodies going. Next one. Okay, this one, I put it together just because I told you there are thousands and thousands and thousands of probiotics. They're families. The families like Lactobacillus, Streptococcus, again, the Pediococcus. These are all different families. They all have different therapeutic properties. If you look at it, in the mouth, you have Lactobacillus, Pediococcus, Bifidobacterium. And then I don't have to read you all those things. They vary from place to place in the intestine, where they go. They go. Ileum, they got the Bifidobacterium, Lactobacillus, all that. When you come to the colon, you have Propionibacterium, you have yeast, mold, and everything. Whole mess is in there because those are the ones that are helping our digestion, the whole 9 yards. This is so the distribution of the organism. Beautifully done. This has, if you look at the science as a philosophy, why these organisms are going into specific places, what happened to us? We none of us know what happened here. This has happened over millions and millions of years, and there's a niche for them to stick on in the GI tract. Next one. Okay, these are the general functions of probiotics in the human body. Number one, improves the digestion and absorption. Believe me or not, those organisms, whatever we are eating, they are helping to digest better in the GI tract. And reduce the incidence of colon cancer, reduction of absorption of the cholesterol. If the people worry about cholesterol, if these bacteria are good, you don't have the cholesterol problem. Well, they take care of that. And then enhance drug absorption. This is where myself and Dr. D.R.K. Reddy passed away. We both invented a system using probiotic as one of the therapeutic ingredient of the drug. We got the patent in 2000, 69800 patent. That patent, we were using probiotics along with the drugs to enhance the drug effect without side effects. It's a beautiful invention we did. And then that's what is showing enhanced drug absorption. Then it increases the production of enzymes and B complex. B complex, your vitamins are synthesized by these bacteria in the GI tract. And also, it inhibits the pathogenic bacteria. If you happen to eat some bad bacteria, these probiotics make sure they kill them, okay, if they're there in good condition. And then bowel regulation, stool softener, and also maintains the GI tract health. Next slide. Next slide, yeah. Here, these are specific therapeutic functions of the probiotics. Specifically, what do they do? What do they do? You will be surprised. You'll see what they will do. Number one, immunomodulation. Immunomodulation means if coronavirus gets into you, how come you didn't die? Your neighbor died. Okay, that means your immune system is so good. These bacteria are so good in you. They are controlling that immunomodulation to counteract any of the infection coming in there. That's immunomodulation. Reduction of intestinal infections. I'll go through one by one later. Reduction of lactose intolerance. Probiotics, suppression of Helicobacter pylori, and control of cytokine storm in COVID-19. That's where I got 2 patents on it, because how to control the COVID-19 using the probiotic. And then control of hypertension, diabetes, control of the obesity, prevention and control of allergies, and improving longevity, anti-aging. Bhishma lived 135 years. He was fighting when he died. Why did he live that long? Now we are telling we don't even go that far, okay? Now, and then the prevention and treatment of hospital-acquired infections, nosocomial infections, suppression of the cancer, and prevention of various diseases through probiotic selection, which I'll show you. Next one. Immunomodulation. These probiotics, they stimulate the immune activity because of their cell wall constituents. When I told you there are thousands and thousands of probiotic bacteria, every one of them have a different composition in their cell wall. That dictates, okay, how your immune system acts. Okay, that's why you can't use only one organism. You got to use the multiple mixed strains. When you use that peptidoglycan that is in their cell walls, that dictates, and the composition varies from one cell to other bacteria. Depends on which bacteria you're talking about. And also the probiotics stimulate the production of antibodies, enhance the macrophage activity, interferon activity, and also natural killer cells to protect you. Because these are all the immune cells, they have the effect to increase the immunomodulation. Now, next slide. I don't need the last one. Go ahead. Okay. Reduction of intestinal infections. Let's say you ate a bad bacteria. It entered the intestinal tract. What do these probiotics do? They will kill the pathogen by competing for nutrition. The bad bag that came in, he's struggling there, okay, trying to hurt you. But these organisms, by nutrition, they take away his food and they will kill him, okay? And also through production of bacteriocins. Bacteriocin it's more like an antibiotic. It's not quite antibiotic. It's a peptide. These organisms produce is like a weapon. They just like shoot a bullet right to the pathogen and kill him. Those are called bacteriocins. Later, I'll talk about that. Then, by blocking the adhesion receptor sites, this is very important. Over billions and billions of years, or millions and millions of years, in the GI tract, there form niches for every bacteria. Every one of them have their own site to stick on. Okay, these probiotics stick on to those sites. If a stranger come in there, they don't let him sit in there. He has to go into the feces. Okay, that protects your health because that's why the blocking pathogen adhesion and receptor sites. By decreasing the pathogenic viral, bacterial and viral insult. Let's say you have a pathogen in your GI tract. What these probiotics do, by producing the acids there, and they weaken those pathogenic bacteria. They weaken them so good, so you're not getting the infection. Next one. I know I'm going a little bit faster, but I had to cover a lot of slides. But I'm trying to convey the message clean cut. Okay, it's a very simplest way I can put it. Reduction of lactose intolerance. Everybody says that 50% of the world has lactose intolerance. You can ask me the question, what the hell is that? Lactose intolerance. Lactose is a disaccharide. It's a two sugars put together, glucose and galactose. Okay. It's again God's creation. It's in the milk only. Baby drinks milk. And then this lactose sugar, it does not break down. It does not break down until it goes to the lower intestinal tract, ileum. That's where it breaks because of the enzyme lactase that's present in the epithelial cells of the human being. It breaks the glucose, galactose, and that glucose now supplies to the bacteria and also gets into the blood to feed all the cells for us. Okay, that is why lactose is designed to break down in ileum, not before. Okay, so what happens as we age, our own epithelial cells, they lose that gene that makes that lactase enzyme. If you lose that lactase enzyme, you cannot break that lactose into two pieces, glucose and galactose. So the lactose is a big molecule. It irritates your GI tract, and you get into gas problems, and also you have diarrhea and bloating and all these things. People say, I can't handle milk. This is what is. Guess what? Probiotics, they have a gene to produce the lactase enzyme. So if you have a good probiotic bacteria, keep on shoving it in there as you age, what these organisms do, they will supply that enzyme. Even though your system lost it, they will make it up for you and then reduce the lactose intolerance. In old age, people, maybe it's a God's creation. People have to die, I guess, at one age, Okay. I like to keep them forever, but it's not possible. Okay. Now, these, if you don't have the probiotics there, your pH, or acidity in the GI tract, got to be around 5.4 pH. At that pH, the calcium gets into the blood. As you age, if the organism is not there, and if your lactase enzyme is not there in your system, lactose doesn't break down, and then you have another issue. There is the pH won't drop. So your calcium does not get in. If you don't get calcium into the body, you're going to have hypertension, blood pressure, osteoporosis, osteopenia. This is why as people age, they'll have fragile bones. They're falling down, broken hips and everything. It is partly related to that not having that lactase enzyme in the GI tract. Next one. See, now you understand what probiotics can do. They can help all that. Now, suppression of Helicobacter pylori. This is a bad boy, okay? This stays in our stomach, this bad bacteria, pylori, and he has a niche. He knows stomach acid is very high, low pH, pH 2 to 2.2.5, and nothing can survive. But this boy survives because he can produce ammonia. He breaks the urea to produce ammonia. Ammonia neutralizes the acid. So that's why he survives and gives us gastric cancers, gastric atrophy, chronic gastritis. And so this is the bad bacteria. In 1994, the H. pylori is categorized as group 1 carcinogen. I mean, carcinogen means causing cancer. This is one bacteria that's categorized causing cancer. Probiotics, they know how to knock him out. Okay, but special, again, not all. When I told you thousands and thousands, some of them know how to knock the crap out of him. Okay, I hate to put that word, but that's we don't. Bad guys deserve that. Okay, so probiotics have the intrinsic capacity to knock H. pylori. So in other words, if your probiotic system is good in the body, you can see how many benefits you'll get. Next one. Control of cytokine storm. I did a lot of work in this area, but I'm not going to bore you. Let me tell you what cytokine storm is. Then a lot of people died. 700 million people got the COVID-19. You know that COVID-19. That means 2019 SARS-CoV-2, COVID. We call that COVID-19. In COVID-19, 700 million people were infected and 7 million people died. Okay. Why did they die like this? Because it is it's a different mutation that the virus came in. Just to give you guys background, why am I talking viruses and all that? My PhD was on virology, okay, and then I did on the bacterial viruses, and I stopped so many pandemics in my lifetime for the America and North Europe. Okay, so anyway, let's talk about the cytokine storm. What the hell is this? Cytokine storm is nothing but overactive immune system in your own body. Overactive. We're supposed to do some job and keep quiet. No, they keep on doing it. That is why overactive immune system leads to cytokine storm. And then there are three other things here. Pro-inflammatory cytokines, anti-inflammatory cytokines, and regulatory cytokines. What that means is pro-inflammatory cytokines. If there's an infection in your body, and then this pro-inflammatory cytokines come in, like interleukin 6. Just you don't have to know all these names, but interleukin. In COVID, what happened? When the virus come in, you breathe the COVID. I know we put the mask on it, the nose mask, don't go close to the guy and all that. All of that didn't do a diddly. Believe me, Harvard proved that all of that we wasted money, okay? But because virus is so tiny, it's angstroms. It's so tiny, 1,000 times smaller than the bacteria. You're going to, unless you wear something, right, weird mask, you're not going to stop it. Anyway, you heard, okay, virus came in, COVID came into your nose, okay? So what you do, your immune system, there are two kinds. One is innate immunity. That means like a local police. A rowdy came into your town, a local police will handle him, okay? If the rowdy is so strong, then the local police can handle it. Then they call for the army reserve, okay? That's what local police is innate immunity. Or the army reserve is adaptive immunity. Okay, I want you to know this. The simplifies way of understanding it. The virus came into your lung, then immediately your innate immunity, or your police, the neutrophils, macrophages. Okay, these are the innate immunity cells. They try to kill him. At the same time, they will also produce cytokines. Cytokines means cyto means cell, kine means moving. They produce the cytokines, go alert the army, adaptive immunity, to take care of this guy. And then so the adaptive immunity now, CD4, you don't have to know all this again. CD4 produces Th17 cell, and the Th17 again tells the macrophages and neutrophils, go to the site. There is a problem in the lung. Go, hit him. Okay, so now you got your innate immunity working, your adaptive immunity working, all these natural killer cells are working, and then the T killer cells are working because this system is drummed up. Okay, because of that, in the lung, what happens? A lot of fighting goes on trying to kill that COVID virus. So while doing that, your permeability is increasing. Some of the plasma is leaking into the lung, and it collapses the lungs. Okay, so how come if that is so? It should be killing everybody, right? Everybody should be dead. And only why 7 million people died? Why not other things, right? Here is the catch. Probiotics are the only one that could tell. See, but what happened here in this COVID thing, the fighting going on, immune system is fighting the COVID, but even if the COVID virus is killed, they don't know when to back off. Your own immune system keep punching the hole in the lungs, okay? And then what stops that? The T regulatory cell. This is a special cell that will tell those people, hey, fighting is over, go back. If you have that cell, you don't have the problem. Okay, this is where the T regulatory cells come in. Well, who controls the T regulatory cell? Our probiotics do. If you have good probiotics in there, they are controlling when to stop this COVID infection when the virus is dead. And that's where what happened. Those people who don't have good microbiota or the probiotics in the GI tract, they could not produce this Treg cell. Treg cell was not there. Then means they just keep on punching. You got the ARDS, okay, respiratory distress syndrome, and then it collapses the lung and the people died. Okay, here in this slide, just I want to show, but that gives you a pretty good idea what we were doing with this COVID-19. I came up with therapeutic principles for it, how to stop it and all that. Overall, you see the COVID, that has spikes on it, 90 spikes on it. They attach to your cell, the ACE2 receptor, injects its RNA. RNA is nothing but a few genes. The virus doesn't have any life. It's a dead beast. The only thing he has is there is a message in him, 10 genes. Okay, like for each cell will have 25,000 genes, but this boy has only 10 genes. And those genes, they come into the cell. When it injects into your cell, your own cell is helping him to make his babies, virions. Okay, so you see the interrelation here? Why the hell is he doing that? Why is our cell allowing this guy to do? Because, remember, go back. Genetically, all these things are related. Okay, bacteria started, virus started on this. So genetically, universally, there is some interrelationship for all these things. Okay, then anyway, it comes in, makes his babies, okay, and they come out with exocytosis. Okay, next slide. This phenomena go for any virus, influenza, Ebola, HIV, all same principle. Okay, next one. No, the one before. Yeah, this one. Yeah. Now the COVID, not only COVID, even for cancer, these pathogens, they figured out that when they get into your cell, they bust the cell, the babies came out, right? Along with it comes a ligand. Ligand is produced by your own cell. A small compound comes out. That ligand can inactivate your T cells. Brilliant. When the T cell is stopped, your immune system is shut, then the COVID or any virus can take over and kill you. Okay. This is where the Nobel Prizes are given. All of these, everyone is turned into Nobels. Okay. Next one. Okay. Now, I don't have to explain to you. I told you how all this mess happens. How does the probiotics help? You see the red line? If you're going through without red lines, you go there all the way, you're dead. Okay, but if you have good probiotics, what they do? They reduce, they produce anti-inflammatory cytokines. They know IL-10. IL-10 they produce, and then they produce TGF beta. Okay, these are all the anti-inflammatory, because inflammation is going on with the pro-inflammatory. Probiotics produce anti for them to reduce it. And also, they are the ones that are controlling the Treg cell. T-reg cell is controlled by them. T-reg cell is the one that's going to tell them, stop it, stop it. All of you go back, they're all dead. Don't poke holes in the lungs. Okay, this is how probiotics can fit. I did a lot of work on this. We got a patent on this one. Okay, on the COVID, because a friend of mine died. I talked to him Monday, and he died on Thursday in New York, and they buried him. When I called him, he's not here, he's buried, he's gone. So that's the time I got very active on this thing. I wanted to come up with a treatment modality for this one, and we did that. We got a patent. Unfortunately, it was not stopping. I mean, the COVID kept on killing people, even though you have models and all these things, right? Then we figured out the reason we could not stop him because he's mutating so fast. Your vaccines are only working for 6 weeks or maybe 2 months. Unnecessary. They're poking $22 billion a vac. Okay. And then, but the virus was mutating, constantly mutating. Okay. And in other words, he's changing the spike structure. The vaccine is designed to hurt the spike. But when the spike changes its chemistry, the vaccine won't work. It kept on going like that. People kept dying. Okay. Next one. Now, then I don't spend too much time on it because if you look at on the right-hand side, how do you know? You all heard of autoimmune diseases. Autoimmune diseases are our own immune system hurting us. Okay, like rheumatoid arthritis, on and on and on. It's autoimmune diseases are going up because when these viruses, they infect your cell up there. When they infect the cell, and then some of their antigen, their body is taken to the T cell, telling, hey, there is a stranger in there. Okay, so T cell knows how to react to him. Unfortunately, along with that, these viruses induce your own cell to produce ligands. When the ligand come in, when there is a checkpoint in here, PD1. PD1 is there to protect, so your own system won't attack. He will block it. He will block it, and then he make your T cell ineffective and then kill you. Okay, this is where Nobels are given. This PD1 Nobel was given to Mr. Tasuku Hanji in Japan. I think I spelled it right. And Allison got his other Nobel Prize for controlling the CTLA4. Okay, so these are. But what I'm coming up is when we gave the probiotics during COVID time, people who took the probiotics, we made a blend of that thing with immunomodulin, with the end products, they didn't get the COVID. Okay, so that means where we hypothesized it is somewhere this ligand is blocked by the probiotic. Knowingly or unknowingly, it was happening. Even when I gave a lecture in India, then I went on 35 channels about this one. I kept on telling about it. Don't worry about it. We infuse probiotics every day in Indian food because that is the trick on it. Since then, even Sadhyanam is also in 5-star hotels. Ever since I told him that, then everybody is drinking the buttermilk. You see what I mean? And the least deaths really those who are consuming the probiotics. Next one. That tells you how the probiotics, how many functions they have. They are there in the GI tract doing all of these good things. But if you kill them, you have a problem. You see what I mean? That's what I'll talk to you later about. Now, this is the hypertension, blood pressure issue. I won't go into pathophysiology. Blood pressure is liver converts the angiotensin. It produces angiotensin 1, okay, using the renin enzyme from what is the receptors from then it produces the ACE, okay, that it produces the AC2, okay, the AC1 goes to AC2. These are the enzymatic reactions. Your blood vessels have ACE2 there in the blood vessel. The coronavirus, all these viruses, they were blocking that. When they block that, A2 cannot convert to A17. Okay? In other words, don't worry about the names. If you don't convert that, if you build up AT2, that causes the vasoconstriction. reduces the blood, but the size of the blood vessels, and then it produces the NADPH oxidase enzymes, and it destroys the cell walls of the blood, and it produces the Van Willebrand factor and the clotting factors, and makes a thrombosis. Blood clots. This is what COVID they died. A lot of them died of blood clots because ACE2 has been hurt by the virus. Okay, that is why. Well, how does the probiotics do? Probiotics, they can upregulate the ACE2 production, and also they will downregulate production of the conversion in the liver itself. Okay, the two factors they will do it, and they control. That way, you'll have less hypertension. Because you can all ask me that how the hell you know all this? Right? We were doing a lot of studies in COVID time. Everybody said people who have high blood pressure, they're going to die because COVID is going to knock them out. But that is the mechanism. But then when we did that with the probiotics and infusion with it, and reduce the dosage of the medicine for the hypertension, then believe me, they did not get the COVID at all. Okay? And they overrode it. And also, that is the time we discovered, wait a minute, these things have a tremendous effect on reducing the blood pressure, and they were protected from the COVID. Next one. Next slide. Yeah, I'll pass this. Go ahead, I explained to you anyway. Next one. Next slide. Okay, how do they reduce the diabetes? Okay, you may be wondering, oh my God, what is this? How do the diabetes also be discovered in the COVID time? Okay, we told them the diabetic patients are all worried. Oh, am I going to get the COVID? I'm going to die. Okay, so 90% of the diabetic cases are type 2 diabetes. Okay, you know that. Diabetes is nothing but your pancreas produces insulin, beta cells of the Langerhans produce the insulin. The insulin is the one that controls the entry of glucose sugar into your cell, into your 10 trillion cells, so that they can, through glycolytic cycle, they can derive energy and then excrete the waste product. Okay, insulin job is to drive the glucose into your cell. He's like a controller. If insulin is low, then you got the type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, forget about it. There's no insulin at all. He's gone. You have to keep giving him. Type 2 diabetes is an interesting one. It is more in the people with obesity. Obese people, they will have the type 2 diabetes. Stress and depression, environmental factors, and viruses, hepatitis, and all these things. What we discovered with this thing, in the obesity, when you have the obesity, remember I told about cytokine storm before? These obese people will have more cytokine storm in their body going on constantly. So what this cytokine storm does, it will go hurt your beta cells, the ones that are producing insulin. Okay? So once the cells are hurt, you have a problem. Now that it's a double whammy. What happened? Sugar is building up in your body because you don't have insulin to shove it into the cells. That sugar, extra glucose in the blood, it goes back and kills those cells some more, those beta cells, the one that are producing insulin. Okay, so it's the other thing. There's a demand. The body is telling, hey, I don't have insulin, I need more. So the pancreas starts producing more insulin. Hyperinsulinemia, more insulin in your body, reverts back and knocks off more beta cells that are producing insulin. It's a vicious circle. What's going on? But you can ask me, well, how the hell is probiotics going to do this? Probiotics, as we told earlier, they have the pro-inflammatory cytokines. Okay, those are all cutting cytokines up. They also have anti-inflammatory cytokines and regulatory cytokines. Because of those, probiotics can sense this and tell them, hey, wait a minute, stop it. Stop that autoimmunity. Stop that T cell from killing your own cells. Okay, that is how probiotics can reduce the diabetes. Okay, next one. And I'm just going through quickly because I can each subject I can spend. Next one. Control of obesity. Obesity is a big problem right now all over the world. Okay, obesity is 90% of them belong to both. What happened to obesity? It's an interesting way of looking at it here. I told you there's 100 trillion bacteria in the GI tract, right? And I also showed you that if you do the staining, you will see the one shape another. If you do the gram stain, if you go back to your college days, if you do the gram stain, some will look purple, some will look red. So, in other words, 90% of the GI tract, if you stain them with the gram stain, they're going to two different phyla, firmicutes, which are gram positive, Bacteroides gram negative. Very interesting concept here. The ratio, if there are 100 firmicutes and 100 Bacteroides in your GI tract, 100 by 100 is equivalent to 1. So, if you have a 1 equal ratio, you're healthy. Other way, if the ratio is 2, 100 firmicutes, 50 Bacteroides, 2, that means guaranteed you're going to be obese. These bacteria are dictating the whole thing. You just put on weight, okay? Now, as you get older, the FB ratio, if less than 1 means more bacteroids, less firmicutes is 0.5. That means less than 1. And then if it is so, you tend to develop intestinal diseases. This is what happens in old age. Old age, the bacteroids go up, firmicutes come down. Okay, so that is why all the nonsense starts, because they have constipation, they have all kinds of things, irritable bowel syndrome, colon cancer, all of that, because there's variance in the microbiota. Okay, so if they now that I told you so many probiotics are there. Probiotic strains like Reuteri, Acidophilus, Bifidobacterium bifidum can improve FB ratio if it is less than 1. If it is less than 1, you give these organisms, they will correct it back. And strains like the FB Lactobacillus rhamnosus, if it is greater than 1, if you're obese, that organism can bring it down the ratio, okay? That doesn't mean you, just because you take the organism, you're going to lose weight. You got to do other things with it. But this is very interesting concept where this, the balance of this gram positive, gram negative has something to do with the obesity, okay? Probiotics have the intrinsic capacity to pull him back to 1, okay? Next one. Allergies, okay. Out of 8 billion people in the world, 3.5 billion people, give or take, have some kind of allergy. Okay? Oh, what the hell is this allergy? Okay? Allergy is if an individual who is allergic, if he sniffs an allergen, okay, weed or whatever the heck it is, or eating food, the allergic thing, body produces IgE, immunoglobulin E, to fight that allergen. Then what is that? That is produced by Th2 cells, immune cells produce those. Then that IgE produced to counteract that allergen goes and stays on mast cells and your basophiles. These are the immune cells again. Mast cells, it goes and sits on the mast cell. Just stay there. Next time when you get the same allergen, when you breathe it in, that is the time that the allergen goes right to it, to the IgE that's sitting on the mast cells, and then immediately allergic reaction starts, and that they start producing histamine. Histamine is the one that causes the allergic reaction with the sneezing and the watery eyes. You know that all the allergy symptoms. Okay, so that means this is going on like 1/3 of the world has some kind of allergy or not. This is the reaction. But how does probiotics help this allergy? Allergies are reduced in probiotics. How many of you in India, if you're born in India, and then allergies are least for us in India, if you notice, allergies are least. Because that's again, they call it hygiene hypothesis. Hygiene hypothesis is when you're a kid, we are playing in the dirt, we are eating all kinds of things, eating with the hand and all that, right? Which is good because the immune system is prepped, okay? Whereas a Western child doesn't have that. This is part of the reason. But India, we have more probiotics in the body. Like the probiotics increase Th1 immune cells, reduce the Th2, and reduce the IgE, and control the allergy. And also they reduce the pro-inflammatory cytokines IL-4 and increase the anti-inflammatories like IL-10 and Treg cells to control allergy. Because it's a beautiful system because how they're orchestrating all of this in our body. Next one. Anti-aging. Oh, this is my favorite subject, okay? I've been telling everybody, who came up with the idea in human beings, you got to die age of 100? Who said that? Who is telling you have to die at 100? Okay, wrong. Human being can live up to 140, 135, 125. But are we going to make it that far? We are not, because our mind is already made up. At the 60, I have to retire. At 65, I have to get Social Security, and then I die at the age of 70. I'm done. Every country is telling, okay, America, you die at 70. Or India, you may go up to 68. Okay, Korea, you go to 73. They put all the averages. My theory on this is where Eli Mechnikov, the Nobel laureate, in 1907, came up with the concept that, wait a minute, long life can be achieved by having proper probiotics in the GI tract. He's the Nobel laureate. He said that. So does Lord Krishna. Because that's why in every Indian household, every day, 3 times buttermilk or curd or whatever, or fermented product. Those are nothing but probiotics. Okay? Anti-aging can be improved by maintaining optimal health in GI tract microbiota, immunity, exercise, and positive mental attitude. You got to have a mental attitude. That's important, because mental attitude controls these bacteria again, GI tract. If you tell them, oh, I don't want to die soon, then bacteria senses right away and said, hey, this guy is no good. He wants to die. Let him die. I'm leaving. Okay? If you tell them, I'm going to live long, and the bacteria senses that, believe me or not, this is a neurosensors, and then so you live long. If you make up your mind, everyone live long, you do it and control your bacteria in the GI tract. As we age, immunosenescence sets in. Immunosenescence means, even remember I told you 100 trillion bacteria, their numbers come down. Probiotics come down as we age. Somehow it is because of the social attitude or what have other factors, okay? Then you start getting weaker bones, all of those, because the probiotic is coming down. Okay, so what you got to do in old age, if you want to live long, you keep on pumping the probiotic. Keep drinking buttermilk liters after liters after liters with the proper probiotic. And then what it does, you try to override that dysbiosis. Okay, then you live long. This is what Eli Mechnikov came up with, a brilliant concept. And then in the old age also, remember I was telling you FB ratio going less than 1, because in old age, the ratio goes to less than 1 because of the bacteroides. So what you do, you pump another proper probiotic to counteract that and bring the ratio to 1. Okay, then you have your chance of living longer is more. Again, provided positive mental attitude, little bit of exercise, and all that, you'll do it. Constant infusion of probiotics along with their immunomodulants can increase firmicutes, which can favor anti-aging. And age-related cancer also can be reduced, because as old age come in, immune system is coming down. So any cell that is mutating, it'll kill you, because if you keep it stronger, you will lower it. Look at it again, next one. Hospital-acquired infections. I'm sure all of you everybody talked about C. diff and MRSA. Oh, my father died of C. diff. My mother-in-law died of MRSA. It's a common thing in America. You go to a hospital. I'm sure a lot of doctors they can witness this. I go to a hospital, and I have a little problem in my kidney, and the doc says, "Oh my God, AI says you got to stay in hospital for 3 weeks." Okay, Balsubrahman is listening to this. So anyway, so you stay there for 3 weeks, guaranteed. If you stay longer than 10 days in hospital, your kidney is fixed up, but you have another disease. This is called hospital-acquired infection. Hospitals are full of these bugs. These are antibiotic-resistant organisms. These are called Clostridium difficile, methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. These buggers, just to give you a little background in it, for 1927, Alexander Fleming in Scotland came up with an idea that the penicillin mold, produced penicillin that will kill a lot of pathogenic organisms. In 1927, he came up with it. 1945, the Second World War was going on. The people were getting sepsis, no antibiotics at that time. And then Winston Churchill was the prime minister at that time. He immediately okayed it. Whatever the heck it is, use that invention he did, penicillin. And the penicillin saved a lot of lives. But ultimately, Newton's third law activated here. For every action, there's equal and opposite reaction. These bacteria figured, oh my God, these guys are killing us. Okay, so what do I do? So they made a gene Remember I told you that the X chromosomal gene, they made a gene that produced an enzyme that destroyed the penicillin. So when you have a disease, the penicillin doesn't work anymore. Then the pharmaceutical companies came up with the tetracycline, on and on and on, RMIs and everything. All these bugs again learned to destroy them. Superbug formed now. Superbug is C. diff and MRSA. It's killing millions of people every year now in hospitals. The projection right now is WHO decided, hey, let's not use antibiotics at all. Let's take them out. When you take the antibiotics out, then what do you do? Okay? Then people are going to die, right? So we figured out this, put a good guy on a bad guy. Okay, these probiotics have the intrinsic capacity to kill that antibiotic resistant C. diff and MRSA. So we have a bunch of organisms here, but you don't have to go into all those. We checked them against that with using the inhibitory tests, and then we found out these organisms kill C. diff. But if I mix all of those organisms and throw them in there, it will knock off C. diff. Okay, the next one. That same thing with the MRSA. Here, different set of organisms. And then same thing. If I put multiple mixed strains, because each strain is different. If I put a multiple mixed strain, they'll knock off your MRSA. Okay? Antibiotics can't do anything, and you're dead. Now, instead, what people are doing, they take a fecal matter of a healthy guy and shove it into this guy, because at least that what he's doing is putting the healthy guy's probiotics, whatever they're in there, into this guy so that he can survive for a few days. Okay, but that's not it sounds gross. Okay, but instead you could use this. I can design good probiotic strains and use that to reduce those infections. Or if the guy is really going to die, okay, shove it nice feces into him and also give these as a adjuvant therapies. Okay, so this way you can do it. Next one. Okay, here is what we discovered. This I did it in, believe me or not, this study, we did it in 1970 when I was a student. Okay, I was doing checking all the antibiotics on the probiotics and all that. And anyway, with the vancomycin and bacitracin, these two antibiotics, they can kill the Clostridium very small way. Okay, but if I can join these probiotics we selected, they're naturally resistant to these antibiotics, but not a bad way. But it's in their genetic system. Okay, not so. When you put them together, if a guy is going to really die, throw in a little antibiotic and that, and he will be saved. Next one. Same thing for MRSA, methicillin-resistant staph. Here we figured out vancomycin, sulfamethoxazole. These antibiotics are slightly. If you look at the 2+, if I join them with probiotics, you get the 4+. That means you're cured. Now, another thing. So hospital is giving me the disease, okay? See what I mean? I didn't have it. I went for something else and I die with something else, okay? So now, what we figured, if I pump probiotics ahead of time, before he goes to hospital, he's safe. He's not getting it. He's not getting these infections. Same thing. If a guy picked up in the hospital, there is another recipe where we could give him, keep pumping him in him, so that way he doesn't go into this nosocomial infections. Okay, it's very clever. Believe me, by 2050, if we don't take care of this, these superbugs are gonna be killing over 10 million people per year, more than cancer. Okay, now the WHO is worried about that. We got the answer here. With the probiotics is the answer. Okay, if not, superbug should be killing everybody, right? It doesn't, because it depends on what you got in the GI tract. Next one. Next one. Okay, and I don't want to bore you here. I won't spend too much time on this. Think this is your gastrointestinal tract, and then this is your lymphatic system down there. Okay. If all the bad bacteria, antibiotic resistant bacteria come in, guess what happens? They go in there, activate your pro-inflammatory cytokines, and also Th1 and Th2 or Th17 cause the immune stimulation inflammation. That inflammation will kill you. That's how you die. You get the diarrhea, bloody diarrhea, and then you pass out and you die. Next slide. Now, what does probiotics do? If I put the probiotics in there, full dose of probiotics are in there, guess what? They produce these anti-inflammatory cytokines like IL-10, and also T regulatory cells and immune tolerance, and no problem. Okay, this is how they do. Next slide. Here, a patient has a C. diff and MRSA. Okay, now I put the probiotic. Now he's already infected. Now I put the probiotics in it. The probiotics go in there, knock off the bad ones, Th1, Th2, Th7, and then control the Treg cells produced, and then see this problem, driving away that immune stimulation, you give you immune tolerance. That means you're protected. Okay, see the intrinsic capacity of the organism and their immunomodulins. That is why originally I gave the definition. You don't get confused with the words. Immunomodulin is nothing but the growth end products of the probiotic. Next one. Okay, suppression of cancer is a wide subject. We did a lot of work on this. I don't want to bore you right now because Kalyani gave me only precise time here, so I can't take forever. So what this is, let's say you ate beef. Everybody says, I don't eat beef, okay? Let's say you ate beef. And there's another person eating vegetables only, okay? When the beef is digested in your GI tract, the last digestion product is a procarcinogen. It is not causing cancer to you. It has the capacity to give cancer. If you don't have the proper probiotics in there, bad bacteria sitting in there, they produce enzymes like tryptophanase, and then nitroreductase, on and on, on. These enzymes are bad enzymes. They convert that procarcinogen into carcinogen, you'll get the cancer. But the beef has more, beef procarcinogen turn into worse carcinogen, whereas vegetable, it doesn't. Vegetable procarcinogen is not bad, but still, you got to maintain good level of probiotics to override colon cancer. Okay, a lot of research has been done on this. Okay, it's not something I'm coming up with. Okay, but you can see now how to play the probiotic. Next one. Okay, here it's only for your benefit I put in. It's a complicated slide. If you look at that, just for the heck of it, Streptococcus thermophilus is a probiotic, and it produces bacteria called thermophilin, and also other immunomodulants like lactic acid, acetaldehyde, and formic acid. Like that, each probiotic is producing different kind of bacteriocin, okay, and also different kind of immunomodulin. This is where you got to figure out exactly how to put them together, the science. If you do that properly, you can control a lot of these diseases, and also you can control that. This kind of science is going to take another 10 to 20 years to study this kind of thing. It's very, very complex microbiology, but this is the wave of the future. For all the medical students who are listening to me, believe me, this is going to be the adjuvant cancer, the probiotic therapy. Next one. Just to give you an idea, probiotic strains that may be used individually or in combination with the therapeutic effect to prevent support treatment of obesity, blood sugar, then high cholesterol, hypertension, allergy, viral infection, arthritis, and cancer. See, remember I told you all the organisms previous? So if it's obesity, okay, go with the plantarum. If it's a high cholesterol, Saccharomyces, Penicillium roqueforti, all these organisms, this menu. If you have arthritis, Acidophilus helveticus, they have the biochemical characteristics. Cancer, you show all these organisms. Next one. Okay, here. Lactose intolerance, this menu. These organisms have the capacity to do it. Sleep apnea, you're not able to sleep. Helveticus acidophilus, okay? Because they produce serotonin, tryptophan. They increase the tryptophan into the blood, and the serotonin that is through the vagus nerve, it go to the brain, and you sleep good, okay? And anxiety and depression, these are the organisms. Antibiotics, diarrhea, these are the. And then if you have, this is the beautiful one you like, sluggish response to vaccination. Again, the COVID time, they're giving a vaccination, okay? But if you have proper probiotics along with that vaccination is more effective because they're controlling the GI tract. The next one. This is my favorite thing. I created this. You think this is like a human being. You think that tree is a human being. Up here is the human body, and down here is the GI tract. So you think like it's a human being. If the GI tract has good probiotics, it looks healthy. Now, if the GI tract, all the probiotics are killed somehow or other, then guess what happens? You're going to die. This is the way it turns out. If I want to protect this guy, now I infuse the probiotics beautifully in the GI tract. Look at that, health, come back. Okay, I thought this will give you some good idea. Next one. I think that's the end of that. Okay, end of the present. Here, what I tell you in this presentation. I gave the total scoop. It's a lot of material that was thrown in here, but that tells you how to improve health, how to live long, and using the probiotics, a simple approach, and they can be used as adjuvants along with the regular treatment. A doctor doesn't have to go say, give only probiotic, You can give medicine. Also, you give this combination. Adjuvant therapy will help you out. Okay, I think with that, I hope